bills heard in exec session by 12:25, and if we don't get it done, we'll have to recess until tomorrow. So just so everybody knows, we're going to start in a subcommittee, and I'm going to start with my two bills. So, all right. So we're going to start with Senate Bill 737. I'm going to turn this over to we're going to wait, and we're going to start with Senator Brown, Senate Bill 753, since he just walked in. Senator, you can start when you're ready. You can start when you're ready. We may establish a quorum here in a minute, too, but go ahead. You can go ahead and start.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon. For the record, I'm Senator Just Brown, for serving the 16th District. I'm here today to present Senate Bill 753. This bill creates a commercial financing disclosure law. Small and medium-sized businesses sometimes need a quick infusion of capital to grow or sustain their business. They require funds to meet unexpected demand, to stock up on product, or quickly repair or replace failed equipment. As businesses seek this capital, we want to make sure that they have access, simple and clear disclosures that allow them to make accurate comparisons between different types of financing. Senate Bill 753 standardizes disclosures related to total cost of capital and puts basic guardrails on the brokers who help facilitate these commercial financing transactions. Businesses deserve clear and accurate disclosures. Responsible providers already rely on this information or relay this information to their partners. It simply codifies best practices in the space and helps eliminate any bad actors. Standardizing this information will help businesses easily compare providers to find the most advantageous commercial financing for their business. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm sure there's some experts here today to help me answer some of those questions. Thank you.
I'm going to take a pause because we actually do have a quorum. We're going to call the roll before we call up witnesses. Barb, would you please call the roll?
Senators Crawford.
Here.
Trent. Brown. Here. Hoskins. Huff. Mosley. Here. Roberts. Here.
We do have a quorum. All right. Senator, thank you for presenting that bill. Anyone here to testify in favor of Senate Bill 753, please come forward. Don't forget your witness form and let us know who you are.
Registered lobbyist for the Revenue-Based Finance Coalition. Senator Brown did a great job explaining this bill. It's been around. I believe this is the year 3, but just happy to support this bill and happy to take any questions.
And I guess I forgot to ask questions of the bill bill sponsor. Sorry about that. I skipped a step. Seeing none, any questions for the witness? Seeing none, next, thank you for testimony. Next up in favor.
Thank you.
Seeing none, anyone here opposed to Senate Bill 753? Seeing none, anyone here for informational purposes only for Senate Bill 753? Seeing none, Senator, any final comments?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee, for allowing me to present this bill.
Thank you, Senator. Next up, we will hear my Senate Bill 737, followed by 836, and I'm going to turn this over to Senator Brown to chair the committee.
All right, next bill up will be Senate Bill 737, sponsored by Senator Crawford. Begin whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Sandy Crawford, District 28. Senate Bill 737 is the Money Transmission Modernization Act. This bill will update Missouri's sale of checks law, which has been largely unchanged since it was enacted in 1984, so you can tell probably does need some updating. And that was a time when paper money orders were issued by local merchants and were a primary way to transmit funds. This system has evolved over the past 40 years, and while Western Union and MoneyGram were the familiar companies back then, today we have companies like Venmo and PayPal. Senate Bill 737 will provide clarity and consistency for industry on a national scale, as well as updated protections for Missouri residents. Senate Bill 737 is a nationwide model law based on industry and state regulator collaboration. 17 states have already enacted this model law, and 21 other states are currently considering it. Senate Bill 737 provides consistent definitions and requirements amongst the states and reduces regulatory burden and risk. The licensing and examination process will be less cumbersome and more efficient for both industry and regulators. And it will ensure that citizens' funds are protected and that innovative products and services can be offered by industry. Senate Bill 737 will benefit both industry and citizens. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for the senator? Seeing as there are none, would anyone like to testify in favor of the bill?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Alex Eaton, registered lobbyist for the Electronic Transactions Association. Again, I would like to go on record in support of Senate Bill 737. This bill was filed last year, working with the department and the Council for State Bank Supervisors. I think this is the model legislation that we've come with. Close to 20 states have adopted this, so appreciate Senator Crawford bringing this forward and happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for the witness?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next to testify in favor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mick Campbell, Commissioner for the Missouri Division of Finance. This is an initiative for our agency this year. Senator, really appreciate you for sponsoring this legislation. She did a tremendous job in summarizing what it does. You happy to take any questions?
Do we have any questions for the witness? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do we have anyone else to speak in favor of the bill?
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Emily Lewis, registered lobbyist for the Missouri Bankers Association, here to be on record in support of the bill.
Thank you. Any questions for the witness? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next up, in favor of the bill. Seeing as there are none, would anyone like to speak in opposition to the bill? For informational purposes? Senator, do you have any closing remarks?
Nope, thank you for the opportunity.
All right, that concludes our hearing for Senate Bill 737. Next up, we have Senate Bill 836, also sponsored by Senator Crawford. Begin whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, for the record, Sandy Crawford, District 28. First of all, I need to let you know we will be working off the Senate committee substitute, which I believe all of you have, and the hearing will be based on that version. Senate Bill 836 is dealing with payments, good funds law, and this will update. Again, it's another update bill. So there are various payment methods that are used in real estate transactions that are governed by this law, and this, again, will update them. So Missouri's good funds laws were created in 1996 and last updated in 2008. This is kind of a theme today, updating old laws. So this was prior to the use of, again, new payment mechanisms, and now we have things such as FedNow and real-time payments. Senate Bill 836 sets requirements for acceptable forms of closing funds for real estate transactions that help ensure that they truly are good funds and they're received prior to the real estate, the transfers and the closings. Good funds statutes act as a deterrent to fraud. They provide certainty in the real estate market, and they create stability in our economic stability as well. Senate Bill 836 will facilitate the use of new technology linked to approved payment mechanisms that provide consumer convenience and anti-fraud protections. And also, it will enable the use of modern payment mechanisms such as FedNow and real-time payments. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for the senator? Seeing as none, would anyone like to testify in favor of the bill?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. David Townsend, representing the Missouri Land Title Association and the Missouri Title Legislative Study Group. We're in support of this bill because it does modernize the payment rails for our title agents and escrow companies throughout the state of Missouri. It provides consumer protections by helping to eliminate and reduce wire fraud, and simply this is something that allows us to continue to close real estate transactions in the most efficient and safe way possible for consumers in Missouri. Thank you.
Do we have any questions for the witness? All right, next up in favor.
Thank you.
Anyone else in favor? Seeing as there are none, would anyone like to testify in opposition? Seeing as there are none, would anyone like to testify for informational purposes? Senator, any closing remarks?
I think we set a new record, 3 hearings in 10 minutes, so thank you, Mr. Chair. We're going to stand by for just a couple minutes. Matter of fact, no, we're not. We're going to go ahead and exec. I changed my mind. Give me just a second. All right. I make a motion that we go into executive session. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. We are in executive session. I move that we take up Senate Bill 736. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes appear to have it. This is the bill that, my bill that we heard last week dealing with MOBUCs, and I move that we vote Senate Bill 736 out of committee do pass. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Barb, would you please call the roll?
Senators Crawford,
Aye.
Trent, Brown, Hoskins, Huff, Mosley, Roberts. 6.
By your vote of 6-0, you have do pass Senate Bill 736. I move that we go out of executive session. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. I make a motion that we adjourn. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We are adjourned.